About a half an hour from now, Dr. Audrey Gusky, the marketing whiz from Duquesne University, is going to be in. We'll be talking about Black Friday, the shopping on Friday, and Brown Thursday. We're going to be shopping. A lot of people, I guess, are going to be shopping tomorrow night, Thursday night. Time to shop. Therefore, Dr. Audrey Gusky is here, the marketing whiz from Duquesne University. She teaches marketing, consumer behavior, things like that. And I mentioned Duquesne University. She's been on TV and radio here in Pittsburgh and all over the world. We talk on KQV radio on a regular basis.
Quite often, yes, PJ.
Thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
What the heck is going on here? We have Black Friday. I'll have you explain what Black Friday is.
Okay, sure.
And now it's what? Brown Thursday.
Brown Thursday.
Because on Thanksgiving now, retailers are saying, we're going to open up early, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening, so you can come out on Thanksgiving night and shop. Some people are saying, listen, you know, we need to stay home and celebrate Thanksgiving with the family.
Right.
And some of the workers at these stores that are opening up early are saying, why do we have to go to work? I want to stay home with the family on Thanksgiving. This is wrong. This is wrong. What do you think?
Of course. Well, you know, I think it's wrong too.
Really?
Thanksgiving was the only day that we had was the traditional pure holiday that marketers in a sense hadn't touched. And me being the blatant marketer that I am, I'm a little bit upset, believe it or not, because I think it should still be a family tradition and not have the stores open. Retailers have plenty of time to be selling on Black Friday, all throughout the holiday season, so one more day isn't going to make or break them. They claim they're doing it for the convenience of the shoppers. Instead of having to get up at 3 in the morning, a lot of people would prefer to shop in the evening with their family.
Yeah.
So, but the people that are working there, or the people too, are drawn from their family and from their turkey dinner.
But you come from a background that advocates for personal liberty. Now, nobody is saying you have to go shopping on Thursday night.
Of course.
If they want to be open, why not let them open? And if you want to go shopping, okay. And if you don't want to go shopping, stay home with the family.
But the problem is then the people who are working there, they have no real choice because they're employees, and typically it's the people who are the new hires, the minimum wage people that are going to be working.
We had the same conversation decades ago, you know, about Sunday sales. Remember? You know,
oh, I do. Remember was it Blue Laws or something?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah exactly.
And when the stores started opening on Sunday, and people said same thing that we're arguing about
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So it's going to be here. It's here to stay, right?
It's too late. It's not going to change. It's already in motion, and so it's going to be earlier and earlier every year to the point where all day Thanksgiving will probably be open next year.
How did this tradition of Black Friday start?
Black Friday, very interesting tradition. First of all, it's called Black Friday because supposedly it's the time or the day when retailers go from the red. If you're an accountant, that means in the debt, not profit, as compared to in the black, making profit. Now, it started, believe it or not, in Philadelphia in about the mid-'70s. It made sense. People were home on Thanksgiving, eating turkey with their family, watching football. What are they going to do the next day? They're off. Let's start our Christmas shopping. And so people did, and it got bigger and bigger to the point where now it's absolutely huge as well.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. I mean, even the guys are out there now. Yeah. It used to be just the women, mom and the daughters would go out.
But it's a tradition for a lot of people. Now, keep in mind, it's not your mother's Black Friday anymore because it's not the big doorbuster types of things that we had grown accustomed to, where it was like so worth it to get up at 3 in the morning. Nowadays, the doorbusters that they have, they have 10, 15, or 20 in a store. You have to, as we know, camp out. A lot of people are there already camping out to get a couple of these bargains. And the sales, because the economy's been so tough, that people need to be aware that you could shop on the day after Black Friday or throughout the whole holiday shopping season and still get a lot of big discounts, as well as online. Online is going to be huge.
Well, let's talk from the retailer's point of view. The amount of money a retailer would make from, let's say, Black Friday through the end of the Christmas shopping season or the holiday shopping season, there's a total amount of money, whatever the bottom line is. Does Black Friday really affect that? I mean, if you don't have a Black Friday, wouldn't you, at the end of the day still have pretty much the same amount of money in sales?
Interesting question. Black Friday, a lot of people believe it's the busiest shopping day of the year. It's not. It's typically the weekend before Christmas.
It's where all the men are out.
That's really true. That's really true, PJ. But Black Friday, you're looking at about $20 billion being spent.
But is that money that wouldn't be spent otherwise?
Well, once again, you don't know. I'm guessing that most of us as shoppers have so much money to spend. If I don't spend it on Black Friday, I'm going to spend it on another day. Or I'm going to spend it online shopping, or I'm going to, so we have so many options as shoppers. So Black Friday doesn't really have the magic that it used to have, where huge discounts and bargains, and it really was the opportunity for shoppers to save a significant amount of money. Not the case anymore. But Black Friday is still pretty significant to retailers. In addition to people spending money, they're also looking and getting ideas as to what types of items are out there. And it's a tradition. It gets people excited about the holiday season. So it's a big deal for retailers.
So what is out there?
As far as
well, you're shopping for gifts. What's hot this year? For kids. For
well, tablets, of course, are really hot.
Okay.
So people are going to do electronics, HD TVs, or any kind of tablet. The iPhone 5 is big as well. Now, for kids, we have Tot tablets. Should get one for my little grandsons, Jake and Luke, so they can do, their tablet as well with their grandma.
Will they hold up under the stress, I wonder?
I don't.
I mean, tossing these things around.
Obviously they're created for kids, so the kids can do that. We got Barbie. We've got Photo Fashion Barbie. We have Furby coming back. Can you believe it? So remember how people waited in line for Furby?
I don't know what Furby is. I'm afraid to say so.
Furby was that little creature, that fuzzy creature that maybe in the late 80s that everyone had to have, the must-have, sort of like the Cabbage Patch doll type of a thing. Teenage Ninja Turtles is back, and that's also popular as well. You remember that one?
Yeah, I do, but I pretty much don't remember anything since the Roy Rogers, the lunch buckets. Roy Rogers lunch buckets is when I, so I don't know what's going on. But Audrey is going to tell us more about what's going on. She's the expert. When we come back, stand by. Okay, we're back. We're talking about shopping. 'Tis the season. Dr. Audrey Gusky, the marketing whiz from Duquesne University, is here. Cyber Monday. Is that this coming Monday?
That's coming up, yes.
Okay.
And Cyber Monday is very interesting because what happened is if you couldn't go out Black Friday and shop, people were back at work. They were too tired. They didn't want to work. They just got back from the holidays. They decided to do a little bit of online shopping, and one thing led to another about like 10 years ago. And next thing you know, it's a huge, huge marketing bonanza once again for shoppers. Great discounts. And now because Cyber Monday is so popular, e-tailers have decided to increase it to Cyber Tuesday. So we'll have Cyber Monday and Cyber Tuesday. So it may end up being like the whole shopping season.
Yeah.
You got free shipping, you've got a lot of discounts, a lot of opportunities.
Plus you can do it at work.
And you could do it at work. And it's convenient. Yeah, exactly.
The boss doesn't know we're shopping.
We're not telling them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said that they want to expand into Cyber Tuesday. What did they just put out a news release and say, hey, it's Cyber Tuesday, right? I mean, isn't that the way that works?
It's pretty much, it hits the media, something like this. We're talking about it, next thing everybody's going to be like, well, let's shop on Tuesday.
I'm still nervous about, I'm an old fogey. So I'm still nervous about buying things online.
Oh,
I mean,
my.
if I could, I'm going to get it in the mail and it's not going to be right. You know what I mean? I want to see it. I want to feel it before I actually plunk my money down. Apparently, that's not a problem for most people.
For a lot of people, it's not a problem. And people were concerned about cyber crime and things like that. And there's a little bit more security there as well. And so it's just the convenience and the opportunity, PJ, to be able to get out there and see, like so many opportunities and options, and you can compare features and brands and prices and really get the best deal across the board, literally across the world. And so, it's a just great opportunity, and more people are shopping. It's been increasing exponentially, like 5, 10, 20, 15% every year. So I think this year it's going to be pretty hardy as well.
Talk about how the retail industry has changed because of that.
Oh, hugely different, yeah. As a result, it's just a whole new game out there because the brick and mortar stores now have huge competition. So, it used to be a drop in the bucket, maybe 1% of the retail sales, and now it's creeping up to maybe 5–10%. And so the typical traditional stores out there have to, have their game plan in action.
And they're online
and they're online too as well. And so it gives you opportunities where you can buy online and then return at a brick and mortar store or vice versa. And so it's wonderful opportunities. And then one thing we haven't even talked about is social media and how smartphones have really changed with the apps and things like that. You can be in a store, you can check out different stores down the street to see if they have better prices. You can get tweets from your favorite retailers and stores and brands. And so once again, that's opening up a whole new ballgame. So as far as opportunities for shoppers regarding, technology, it's huge, and it's just reshaped the whole retail landscape.
Well, look into your crystal ball into the future. Are we going to see the day when we won't have any brick and mortar stores?
Well, a lot of people are theorizing that, but the problem is a lot of people love to go shopping like you. They like to feel the merchandise. They like the social aspects of it. They like to be in the mall. They like the smell, the touch, the whole experiential thing. So I don't think we're necessarily going to lose the traditional, at least in our lifetime, of the retail stores. But things are changing, and so people like an experience when they're out there. I think we're going to see less and less retailers, traditional retailers, because we are so oversaturated with so many stores, especially in the western Pennsylvania region.
Yeah. I noticed you said go to the mall.
Yeah.
Now, when I was a kid, and we're talking going back into the 1950s, we used to take the streetcar into town and
Yeah.
go see we had 3 or 4 department stores in town at the time, the windows and the trains
Yeah.
and the toys and all that kind of stuff. Fewer people are doing that these days, though, right?
That's really true. Unfortunately, the downtown picture isn't as bright and merry as it used to be when you and I were growing up. I remember the Gimbels Kaufman's horns.
Yeah.
In fact, I worked at Gimbels for
Yeah.
many years.
You don't remember Rosenbaum's?
I do not remember Rosenbaum.
That was way in the 50s. I think Rosenbaum's went out of business around 1957, 58. That was one of the downtown.
Do you remember Guskey's? There used to be a Guskey's
Oh, yeah,
store.
I do remember.
No relation, but I always take credit for the store anyway. But of course, they're no longer in existence. But yeah, it's different now. So that the experience of going downtown, and that's why we had Light Up Night, because people had brought them into the city, over like 800,000 people enjoying the festivities. You know, it's a shame we can't keep that energy momentum up to really give a spark to the downtown region.
But, you know, on the other hand, I feel the same way you do. On the other hand, you know, online and communications, driving, you know, here and there, I mean, there is less reason these days to have a concentrated area where you have that kind of commercial activity.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, because suburbia, you know, as families moved out from the city area, we have a lot more suburban mall types of things.
Yeah.
And we still haven't gone back to the city. Other major metropolitan areas have, but we're still like a little bit behind the times on that.
Yeah. What about some tips? Some people have a problem with a credit card. You take the credit card out, and the next thing you know, you're in jail. You know, you know, too much money. I don't know if you have that problem. Do you budget, or you know, how do you make sure that you don't spend too much?
Well, I budget, and hopefully I practice what I preach. I tell people that they should be very careful too, especially during the holiday season. People tend to overextend themselves. Only spend what you have. So if you want to use your debit card instead of your credit card to keep you in line, that's a good thing. Or if you make sure you keep track of what you're spending. This holiday season is great for shoppers because it's going to be nothing but sales and discounts and clearances. Retailers are concerned. They're concerned how the sales are going to be going. They're not expecting a really, really strong holiday season. The economy has been tough throughout the whole year. And so as a result of that, they're presenting great discounts, clearances, lots of opportunities for shoppers to save a lot of money. And so my advice to shoppers is get everything on sale. But like Santa, make your list, check it twice.
Yeah.
You know, figure out who you need to spend for, and you don't have to spend $100 on somebody. Maybe you can get $10 or $15 gifts as well. So just be very cautious. As shoppers, you really need to make sure that your family budget stays within your family budget.
Yeah. Was it JCPenney that had a policy of we don't have any sales or discounts or anything like that?
Oh, that's an interesting story.
You know, whatever it says, whatever the price tag says, that's the price. No haggling. It's you know, and people didn't like that, I guess.
Yeah, the guy's the CEO. His name is Johnson, and he came from Apple, and he was trying to change things, and he figured, hey, we're going to start something new. We're going to cancel all the sales because 60 or 80% of all of JCPenney's sales were discounted sales. And so they figured, well, we're just going to have this like low price everyday type of a thing, and it didn't work. It totally bombed. Sales dropped. They're having tremendous problems at this point as a result of that strategy, because as shoppers, as consumers, we're conditioned. We're like Pavlov's dogs. I want it on sale. I want those coupons. I want those bargains. I don't want to pay full price. And so it's a game that consumers play with retailers, and if we can't play the game, you're going to go to another retailer.
But are they really bargains? Is it really on sale? We'll want to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about that. Honesty on the price tag. We'll be back in a moment. Stand by. We're talking about shopping. It's Christmas shopping, holiday shopping with Dr. Audrey Guskey from the University of Pittsburgh.
Duquesne University.
I'm sorry. I don't even know where that came from.
I did go to Pitt. Maybe that's what
That's right. You graduated from Pitt. I'm sure that's what I was thinking.
That's what you were thinking.
Duquesne University. And we were talking earlier about sales and discounts. Are they really sales and discounts, or are they just, you know, sort of fake?
Well, as shoppers, you need to be very, very savvy, because a lot of times, especially for these doorbuster types of things on Black Friday, they will increase the price of the products quite a bit in order to then drop them down. And so, you know, it's a game that retailers play as far as pricing goes. And as shoppers, if you know the prices and if you know what the true price is, hopefully you know what the discounts are as well. But yeah, you just have to be out there to be very careful.
Are there any issues these days with things that don't work, or there's a return policy, or maybe there isn't a return policy, or something breaks the day after you buy it? Is that much of a problem these days?
Well, I mean, you know, things tend to break a lot. Things aren't made the way they used to be when we were growing up. The problem with return policies now is they're much stricter. The reason for that is the economy is tough, and a lot of retailers realize the game that people play. They buy things and return them, and it's just they're trying to sort of stifle that.
Right.
Also, you have to be aware as a shopper, if you're returning something, especially electronics, if the box is open, they will not take it back, and there's sometimes a 15% or more restocking, reshelving fee. And so as shoppers, if you're buying things, you have to make sure you know the return policies, because a lot of times you're not going to get the same amount of money that you paid for it back when you return it.
Okay, let's go macro here. What about the shopping season? How much money are we going to be spending? What are the retailers going to expect from us?
Well, the average person is going to spend almost $800, and so we're looking at about
really average person?
Average household.
Household, okay.
So that's a significant amount of money. The National Retail Federation predicted a 4.1% increase over last year. Now keep in mind, last year it was 5.6% increase over the previous year, but the previous year it had been a drop of 4%, which was unheard of, never happened before. If you go back to the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, you had increases of 12, 15%. That was a hefty increase. So with a 4% increase, I don't think we're even going to hit that. The average over the past 10 years has been 3.5%, and I'm thinking that's about where we're going to be, pretty much average what we've been over the past 10 years. So not really merry for retailers, but it's good news for shoppers because the prices are going to be discounted and lots of sales out there.
And I guess that reflects the economy. We're talking about coming out of the recession and gradually, going through the mud, making some progress, and I guess that's reflected in the retail sales.
It absolutely is reflected in the retail because the past year, 2012, sales haven't been really that strong throughout the entire year. Consumers are still concerned about their job security. They're concerned about the economy overall, and so we're going to be cautious and we're going to be careful. Now, Western PA, we're a little bit stronger than the national economy, so we may be spending about 4.5%, which is good news.
Yeah. What we mentioned earlier, we talked a little bit about what's hot. What's the one thing that everybody must have this holiday shopping
I don't think we have one this year.
Oh, really?
It hasn't surfaced yet. Yeah. The problem is there's so much stuff out there that we haven't really focused on one thing, like a Wii, or like we said, the Cabbage Patch, or the Furbies, or any of those types of items. Nothing's really surfaced at this point. Tickle Me Elmo, remember that a couple years ago, was really hot too. So
the Cabbage Patch dolls, how many years ago was that? That's what, 30 years or 40 years?
Probably like 30,
Back
35 years. It was quite a while ago. Yeah.
I think that was the first big craze that I remember.
That was one of the big ones.
I mean, people were shooting each other, inside the stores, going after the cabbage.
People were flying to New York to get the Cabbage Patch doll for their daughter, and then flying back and paying all that money. Yeah, now we have everything on eBay, so it's a little bit easier.
Well, now they're selling in museums for hundreds of thousands of dollars. No, that's a lie. But
no, they're not.
You know how that works. Yeah, no. So are you a shopper?
I am a shopper. I practice what I preach. I go out there. I'm very cautious and very thrifty. I use a lot of coupons and discounts and try to get everything I ask.
Do you like it? Is it like in your DNA?
It's in my blood. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And my son takes after me, and I took after my dad. So we're all like these thrifty. Sometimes the word is cheap. Individuals trying to save as much money as we can and always go after a bargain. Always after a bargain. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and you shop early?
No, that I don't do.
You don't?
I usually wait till the last minute. I like to get my semester over, my grades turned in, and that way, I can relax and shop. And I love the activity, and like the snowflakes are falling and the rush, and it's just, I'm good under pressure. Yeah. And so a lot of times, and there's great bargains. Keep in mind when you shop later, a lot of times you can save significant amounts of money. However, the variety is limited because the inventories are pretty low. And so that's one thing shoppers need to be aware of this year. Retailers are concerned, so the inventories aren't as high as they've been in past years because they don't want to get stuck with all the stuff at the end of the year. So people should shop a little bit, start a little bit now.
Which brings us to Christmas shopping or post-holiday shopping. Is that still a big thing?
It's still a big deal. The day after Christmas, you can get some great bargains, especially Christmas gift wrap and Christmas decorations and all that types of things as well. Yeah. So I would just say, be like Santa, shoppers. Get out there, make your list, check it twice, and.
My motto has always been, it's the thought behind the gift.
It is the thought behind the gift. That's exactly true.
Thank goodness for me, because I'm one of those guys that's out there the day before, literally the day before Christmas. I'm a little bit better these days, but I'm still, even when I shop ahead, there's always something to do on Christmas Eve.
I'll give you some advice, PJ. Okay. One of the biggest things that's going to be under everybody's Christmas tree, gift cards. Gift cards are always a very hot item.
Well, do people accept gift cards, and that's not like
it's
really?
not like giving cash because there's a little bit of thought put into it. So if you know their favorite restaurant, or they like to golf, or whatever their different activities and interests are. And gift cards are very, very hot and very popular.
Well, good. And it's easy.
It's easy.
Yeah.
One size fits all. Easy to wrap.
Happy holiday.
Happy holiday to you. Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas.
Thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you, PJ. Always great to be with you.
And Yens, too. Good night, everybody.